Guys, so welcome to this week's weekly review. I must really say that the markets are behaving crazily for since the start of this trade and tariff wars between US, China, and Europe. So it's been very, very crazy. So if you're trading EU or GU, please be careful there. Apply proper risk management. And one way to apply proper risk management is to stick to your risks per day, right? Because you can be right in the direction, but there'll be a lot of liquidity run. It's what we call seek and destroy. There'll be a lot of seek and destroy while market is moving in your direction. So you can get stopped out multiple times if you insist on keep getting in the market, right? So just take your loss for that day and be satisfied with it and go for the next day. This is the way, this is the one way to protect your account, right? So going into the week, I know as day traders, swing traders, we always like to look from the charts from the weekly perspective to just get a proper direction, right? I always say that you always want to, excuse me, you always want to pay attention to what market is doing both to your left hand side and your right hand side, putting more priority to the right, right? Because right hand price action is what market is seeing, right? Left hand is just giving you an idea. You want to know where market is going. Remember, we predicted price movements in one of our reviews. You can go and watch our review for was it last month? We predicted price getting to this zone, right? Getting to equilibrium of this range. We can remember well, I said it that we are going to get a rejection of price, and we see when market came to this place, we got that rejection. We can see, but you see, because of the fundamentals and everything happening with the tariff wars, you cannot, you just have to flow with what price action is predicting, right? So we see the moment we closed above this equilibrium range, it gave an indication that price was not ready to go down, because when we got this hammer down, we could say it was an indication that we are ready to go down and begin to sell. But in the moment this the next candle came and closed above it, and the subsequent one gives us an indication that we are most likely gunning for this liquidity, this buy side liquidity. So most likely we are looking for the market to reach this buy side. Sorry, okay. I wanted to put it, okay, buy side. Okay. Going for this buy side liquidity. So that's the most likely draw on liquidity right now. Although the candlestick, the weekly candle refusing to run through this and giving us a rejection here might be an indication that we want to most likely get a retracement into this weekly fair value gap before we run it. But you can never say. We're just getting the general overview of what the market is saying. So we can see this fair value gap here. So most likely we have taken out the high of that previous weekly candle. Most likely we are gunning for the retracement into this fair value gap before we continue for the run, right? So nothing is 100% guaranteed. We're just looking at it, but we'll go lower to the daily time frame. I always advise you, if you're a day trader, you are not a swing trader or position trader or short-term trader that you hold trade for a very long period, I would like you to always frame your trade, most especially just use weekly for outlook, but frame your trades based on the daily time frame, right? Based on the daily time frame. So looking at this, go into the daily time frame. Let's see. What's oh sorry, 1 day, 1 day. So if you look at this, we see this. This is a very, very impulsive move, right? This is displacement, right? And remember, I told us in our analysis, anytime you see displacement, there's a high probability that we're not going to get a deep retracement. Price is just going to be looking for any institutional reference points to reverse off on. And you see this fair value gap, the weekly fair value gap also aligned to to this old high. and also the top of this breakout. So if we're marking this whole candlestick, we can say this is our breaker block, right? So most likely, even if we are looking for a retracement, it should not go deeper than this. But there's a high probability with what's happening in price action. If we look at it, remember, I always say that when you go to the daily, what do you want to see in the daily? You want to see the structure in the daily. What's the structure telling in the daily? Looking at it from here, we just know that we are bullish on the daily. Looking at our structure, we see that we got a continuous break of market structure on the daily, right? Telling us that we are bullish, right? However, we have taken out external. We are also looking to take internal, which is the possibility here. We'll get a retracement into this breaker, or most possibly this fair value gap. If it goes deeper, then we'll continue up to our buy side liquidity, right? This is the likely scenario, the ideal scenario. However, with what price is giving us right now, if we look at our candle closures, right? I always want to do the analysis looking at the candle closures and looking at the structure. Looking at our candle closure, you will see that after this last bearish candle here, right? Price refused to close above, and you see the next bullish candle went and closed above this bearish candle. That gives us an indication that probably price might not be ready to start the retracement yet. We might want to still go for this high. And I still want to go for this buy side, and most likely, possibly, I think that buy side also aligns without the weekly buy side, right? So there's a high probability or high chance that we are going for here. And also seeing the last rejection we got off our previous day on Friday. Also, you see it rejected off the midpoint of this candle, telling us that most likely we might not go down, but nothing is 100% guaranteed, like I said. So we still, price can decide to move from here to the upside before giving us the retracement into the internal range liquidity. This is one possible scenario, right? We're looking at this. Also, price can decide from here, start shooting up and find support here and continue shooting up. Those are likely scenarios, right? So for a day trader, you always want to come down to your 1 hour or your M15 or M30 to also see what structure is telling you to be able to align to take your trades. But most likely going into this week, this is the likely scenario we're looking for. We're looking for price to just continue, and also pay in mind that this week is NFP week. So we might likely get a little bit of manipulation. So we can get a little bit of manipulation till NFP to get the major move for the week, or we can just start off our major week and NFP will just serve as a continuation in the direction of that major move. So if you are looking to trade GU, you are looking to trade EU, they are similar. So it's the same thing. You are looking to, I'll be tilting more to the buy side. I'll be tilting more to the buy side. Why? Because of the previous bullish. See, this previous daily candle did not close below this bullish candle, and it rejected off the midpoint of it. So that's an indication telling me that even if we're going to go down, most likely we're going to be taking up this high before we go down. So I'll advise you, with the tariff and everything coming off, be careful out there with your trading and everything. Make sure you do an extra confirmation in your lower time frames before, right? If you go to 1 hour, you see that the direction, you see in the 1 hour too, you see it has internal structure is breaking to the upside, right? When we refused to take out this low, right, we formed a failure swing. Well, was that low taken out? I think it was taken out, but slightly. Sorry, I think the low was taken out slightly. Yeah, we took out. Yeah, it was. So we took out that low and we broke structure to the upside on H1, and since then we have been bullish, right? Our internal structure is bullish. Also validating our daily structure, right? So most likely you want to tilt into the direction of what the higher time frame is telling you on your internal structure. So now you see that our external structure, which was on the daily, is bullish, and now the internal structure also has aligned bullish. So most likely it will be best for you to either if you're not clear, to wait to see what Monday will print, or you take your trade in the direction of the internal structure, which is bullish currently right now. So if I were to trade, you will be looking for these zones, this order block on your H1. This is where, because you see we had previous rejection, most likely we're looking for what price is going to do around here. But like I said, be careful going into this week, because with the tariff wars and the trade wars happening between US, China, and the other countries, price action has been crazy. So just try to be safe and maintain proper risk management going into this week, right? So if you ask me, I'm short-term bullish both on EU and on GU until otherwise. The only time I will be bearish is when I get a candle closure below this bullish candle. Once I get, if Monday decides to come down bearish and close below this, yes, it will now confirm to me that the retracement, and there are two things. If it comes directly and close below this level, I'll also be mindful around the 50% of this week, because that might be the reversal point. 50% of this particular week might be the reversal point. So I might not be too watching for a deep retracement. I'll be watching to see how price will react around here to continue bullish. That is if the next daily candle, if we open Monday and Monday goes to close below this bullish candle. So that will be all for our weekly commentary on GU. So I think it's safe not to analyze the XY, because the XY will likely be the opposite of what we are looking at. And also EU is about 80 to 85% correlated with GU. So most likely EU too will be heading in the same direction going into the week. Thank you. Okay, so guys, do you have any questions or anything? I think you can either type in the chat. I think I should be able to unmute. Let me see. I'm unmute to ask your questions. So you can unmute. So if that is clear, you can just say it's clear on the chat, or if there's any question you can ask before we call it a day. Right, Mohammed, are we good? Okay, clear. Okay, so thank you guys so much. Let's have a profitable trading week, and please trade safe. Use proper risk management. Like most especially if you are a scalper and a day trader like me, make sure if you want to get multiple entries, break your risk. If your risk per day is 1%, maybe you should break your risk into two, so that you know that you have two shots to be right or wrong. And if you are wrong on those two chances, call it a day, because price action can be crazy. Combined with NFP week, we can have a lot of manipulation for this week, right? So let's just be safe out there. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful trading week. I hope this was insightful and impactful. Thank you.